the most unhinged person in the GOP race is Nikki Haley, fam. Like, not Ron DeSantis, not Donald Trump. Nikki Haley gave the most unhinged performance on the debate stage. She's been by far the neocon pick for the Republican Party. And like her positions on foreign policy is straight out the Raytheon playbook. And you even had Vivek Ramaswamy call her out on this as well. And I'm gonna show you guys just a few clips because this segment is very short. The whole idea of this segment is this is why Nikki Haley is the most unhinged, and of course, she's the one that the liberal establishment loves the most. Like when they talk about Nikki Haley, they're like, "Oh, thank God we got Nikki Haley. She's the adult in the room, right?" So I'm gonna play with this one first because this one goes to the new direction the establishment is going on anti-China fear mongering. So let's play the clip and we
it's embarrassing. I mean, I'm looking at the fact that here you've had a spy balloon go over our country. You've killed thousands of Americans with fentanyl. You steal intellectual property, and you're putting a spy center up in Cuba. And you're going to go say they're a competitor? China sees us as an enemy. They've been preparing for war with us for years. And that's what you're going to do? You're going to talk about climate change and the fact that they're a competitor? The Chinese had to be celebrating. I mean, and they're laughing at us.
They didn't
and
show
the rest
up.
of the world doesn't know what's going on with us. How do you feel about the...
Whoa. There's so much here. So much insane lies. So much insane lies. We got to take it one by one. For one, she says China is killing Americans with the fentanyl crisis. Citation needed. Last time I checked, that was the CIA who worked with the Mexican cartels.
Yeah. Also, I would like to ask her, are you going to go after the Sackler family too? Last time I checked, they're American.
So I wanted to show the whole clip first. Let's take this one by one because this is insanity. 30 seconds of pure insanity.
It's embarrassing. I mean, I'm looking at the fact that here you've had a spy balloon go over our country. You've killed thousands of Americans with fentanyl.
They killed thousands of Americans with fentanyl. Unhinged conspiracy theories, guys.
Yep.
And we should be worried about spy balloons, even though Americans spy on their own citizens.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JB. I know you want to try. Go ahead, JB.
But no, I mean, the spy balloon was debunked. The U.S. government said very quietly, okay, so it appears that it was just a weather balloon that had veered off course. It wasn't actually a spy balloon. But that was the point.
And what are you talking about? No, they still won't release the contents of what was in the spy balloon because they released the content of the spy balloon. They realized it's just a fucking balloon. China has access to satellites. Use deeply unserious children.
Mm-hmm.
The new conspiracy theory they flowing out now is that college age men in China are immigrating to the United States to spy and send military documents to the Chinese Communist Party. This is serious stuff that Americans say with a straight face. And I'm going to document it on RBN because I told you guys the United States is the most unhinged, propagandized country in the world. This candidate I'm showing you here is not a French candidate. Donald Trump hired her, to clear the swamp. Morning Joe and the Democrats love her because she in lockstep with the Uniparty. And also, Nikki Haley, why are you bleaching your skin? Why are you bleaching your skin? That's how a lot of people call her out for this. Man, she really got appealed to those white voters, huh? Because she does this thing where she make herself look whiter than she actually is. She's doing it again here. But let me, I let the clip play first.
That's terrible. I didn't know she did that. I didn't know she does that, but she does.
That's the thing that people always knock her for. Like, they would never say that in establishment, but she bleaches her skin.
And her name, that's not her name. Her name is not Nikki, actually.
So, CJ, I played the first 30 seconds without interrupting it. Now I had to play it again to take it piece by piece because the live was so aggressive. I would have been stopping it every 2 seconds. So let's continue.
Intellectual property. And you're putting a spy center up in Cuba, and you're going to go say they're a competitor?
Not a spy center. not a spy center. I covered this
Spy
before.
center.
I told you I had to play it in full because every second she tells a lie. There's cooperation between Cuba and China, and they are doing military exercises together, which countries are allowed to do. You know, that's NATO. You know, NATO is a military alliance. Countries are allowed to have military alliance and diplomacy with each other. But when other countries do it, they say, oh, China has some nefarious plot to have a military base in Cuba. You mean what the United States is doing to Taiwan?
I'm sorry, but what has the United States been doing with Israel?
Yes, what the United States does, period. Yeah, and you gotta see, like, her skin tone is gonna be in different color in every single one of these clips I'll show you.
You're gonna go blonde next. Watch.
This segment, but I have to bring it up. She goes on right-wing media, knowing that a white audience is gonna watch her, and tones her and bleaches her skin to make her look whiter. Like, I remember I seen a picture where she wasn't bleached, and I actually was shocked to see how brownish she was because she does this all the time for media appearances. Like, without like the standard makeup, she's pretty like kind of light brownish. But anyway, let's continue.
China sees us as an enemy. They've been preparing for war with us for years. And
pause. Once again, I can't. That's why I played it in full first.
What?
Because they say China is preparing for war with us. You want to know why China may do something that is smart like that? Maybe because you had United States generals, United States senators, United States Congress people, NATO, and Europe. They all say stuff like, man, I think we need to go to war with China in the next few years. Yeah, we definitely about to go to war with China. Yeah, let's fuck China up over Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan is a part of China. We acknowledge that for decades, but we about to go to war with China. Then China sees the West constantly talking about the fact that they want to go to war with us. So China says, maybe we should beef up our military. Fucking crazy motherfuckers talking about war. So then Nikki Haley goes around and say, man, these people who boosted their military because we threatened war with them is now threatening war with us.
But dude,
beyond parody.
This is the equivalent of you seeing somebody and they get into a relationship with somebody else and you go, well, they got into that relationship just because they want to make me jealous. and China's like, man, I don't give a shit about you. Why you gotta make it all about you? Because the thing is, it's not even about you. Like, look, I'm chilling out here with Cuba, trying to help them out, and somehow you gotta make it about. Look, I'm sorry, but this has some white supremacy shit written all over it. It's like, well, we got to center ourselves because you're in the United States, and whatever China does, even if it doesn't affect us, we have to make it all about ourselves. Like, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me right now?
Yep. So I want to play one more clip because I don't want this segment to go too long. I'm glad that you let me do this, CJ, because I had to cut this from
for sure.
Nick and Knight. I had to cut like 2 segments for Nick and Knight, so I'm glad I was able to get this one in real quick. So I'll just play this video and you guys can comment on this. This is another example of Nikki Haley being deranged, and she's been insane on Israel. Vivek Ramaswamy, his position on Israel is not perfect, but he said we need to divest from Israel, which is a better position for almost anyone in the establishment. So Vivek Ramaswamy said we need to divest in Israel, and Nikki Haley had a fucking panic attack last election at the idea of that. So let's watch some more of her takes on this.
But Israel is a great partner to us. It's a bright spot in a tough neighborhood. And too many people think that Israel needs America. That's not the case. America needs Israel. They are the front lines of defense for.
You guys notice how her skin is a different color here? Slightly darker. A tan darker here. I just love how inconsistent it is. Every time I see her. Anyway, let's continue.
What we need to do is remind everybody hate is hate. Whether it's racism, whether it's anti-Semitism, there is no place for it, and it needs to be dealt with that way. And so on college campuses, if they don't have programs designed to combat hate, and that includes anti-Semitism, their funding should be pulled.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean BDS? Does that mean resisting the apartheid state of Israel? And see that you're not here. That's exactly what she is saying, guys. This is why Nikki Haley is the most unhinged. Because people like Ron DeSantis and other Republicans already put anti-BDS measures in place, which is a violation of First Amendment. So Nikki Haley is saying that campuses should have punishment for students who engage in quote-unquote anti-Israel political stances, which is essentially pro-human rights, anti-genocide, right? But anyway, only 20 more seconds. We let it continue only interrupted once.
That's simple. We can't have people on the streets sitting there worried. And as a mom, I have a mom heart, worried about your child on a college campus because someone's going to hate them. But when you have this rhetoric and you allow an Iranian and, the president to go and spew hate from the UN world stage after we gave $6 billion to them, that's what you get. You'll have a president who remembers Israel and the U.S. are best friends, and we're going to keep it that way.
So she's for the NATO war, insane anti-China hawk, insane Zionist. And you guys see why Morning Joe loves her now.
They love her though.
They absolutely love her.
The establishment loves her. Like when they have to pick, who won last night? Nobody. Well, Nikki Haley did all right, right?
Yeah.
She said
we did a live reaction to the
She said invade somebody, right?
We did a live
literally
reaction
what
to
it
the
is.
debate, CJ. Remember what I said?
Yeah.
After the debate, my first reaction was immediately Nikki Haley, the most unhinged candidate on the stage, followed closely by Chris Christie. And then the next day, Morning Joe, like, man, we think Nikki Haley really killed in that debate. We couldn't be further apart. But JB, you want to respond? I got one more last speed. You want to respond before I move on?
Nikki Haley is one of those annoying people. She reminds me of that kid that reminds the teacher that we had homework. God, she's annoying.
So another, this is my beef with the right in general, right? Because I always wonder how they're going to spin the whole thing with Joe Biden spending $6 billion more than Donald Trump, right? There's this quote-unquote border crisis, right? But you guys understand that neoliberalism, there is no answer to a border crisis and immigration crisis through neoliberalism. If Biden is funding the border more, but there's still a border crisis, that means border funding is not the answer to the problem. If we're funding ICE and border security to historic levels and it's still not solving the problem, that means you need to find a solution. That's common sense, right? Now here's Nikki Haley, the unhinged ditwit, because now they have people... Like, not me even defending Joe Biden, because this is me calling out Joe Biden for his harsh immigration policies. Because look at this dumb tweet by Nikki Haley. She says, border control has seized enough fentanyl to kill every single American this fiscal year, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is nowhere to be found. Close the border, stop the drugs, save our families. Pause. Do you guys see the contradiction here? So on one hand, she's pretending that Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe, and the Democratic Party has an open border, but this somehow open border was able to seize this much fentanyl. How was they able to seize the fentanyl, Nikki, if there's an open border? So this thing that the right wing is doing, Nikki Haley keep doing, and like once again, like RFK falls for this as well. I seen Russell Brand fall for this. A lot of people fall for it where they pretend that Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe, has an open border. Joe Biden is funding the border more than Trump, fam.
Hang on, Nick, CJ. Does all those bags look like that cheap ass washing machine powder that you buy at the dollar store?
Yep.
It don't look like what she. That's like putting some oregano in a bag and calling it weed.
Yep. This is what Joe Biden has accomplished right now. And this is breaking. The Biden administration bypasses 26 federal laws to build additional border wall in South Texas. Joe Biden is building that wall. And I'm looking directly at you, white America, right now. What the fuck are you guys talking about? When you guys keep saying that Joe Biden has an open border. Joe Biden deported more people than Donald Trump. Repeat after me. Your neoliberal, capitalist, state violent solutions to immigration does not work. It doesn't matter if you invest more in ICE. If you invest less into ICE, you're going to have the same result. If you want to solve the problem, stop U.S. imperialism and United States sanctions. Yep. Anyway, so people calling her out. Nikki, I'll pass to you guys. I'm pretty much done. I'll wrap this.
No, I'm glad you did this because it was a Nikki Haley segment that we kept pushing back. It was on China. It wasn't just this. So apparently, Nikki Haley's just doing only China unhinged segments. Nick, I guess that's all she's doing because I had literally had another segment about her being unhinged, and I kept pushing it to different shows, and I just never was able to.
I had to do this segment because every day, like this segment could have been way longer. I wanted this to be a shorter segment. I could literally just show you anything she says in the segment. Be like, Nikki Haley unhinged, Nikki Haley on immigration, Nikki Haley on China, Nikki Haley on Ukraine, Nikki Haley on Israel.
And I guess her husband is a military officer. Somebody in the comments said her husband is a military. Is he like a high ranking? I don't know anything about this. I don't know if he's a high ranking officer, but I wonder. That gives me, I don't know. That gives me very much intelligence vibes from her. That her husband is a military officer, especially if he's high ranking, and then her and what she's pushing. Like this, gives me intelligence sort of vibes. And I'm happy that she's not popular in the GOP because I would hate to have her be elected over Trump. Even Trump is terrible, but. We can't have a hawk where the establishment is behind her. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's a doomsday candidate. Like, she's another Hillary Clinton. Like, she's literally Hillary Clinton with an R in front of her name instead. Absolutely unhinged foreign policy. Anyone who would rather have Nikki Haley than Donald Trump, essentially everyone in MSNBC, right? You are a moron. Like, she is 100% crazier than Donald Trump. But with that said, for the Trump people, and I'm going to continue to jab at you, duopolists. We are both duopolists here. For the people who think that Donald Trump drained the swamp, he hired this psychopath to be his representative at the UN. She had some UN job under Donald Trump. And then she wanted people that later turned against Trump because she found her lane as an anti-Trump Republican. A lot of people can argue, and I think it's a good argument to be made, that Nikki Haley thought that Trump was just completely full of shit and would completely bend to the Pentagon, and he was angry that Donald Trump would have criticisms of war, and that would make Nikki Haley turn against him. So the liberals who think that she like this moral beacon, and not even that, Nikki Haley became anti-Trump when she like, man, this motherfucker is not a Dick Cheney, so we gotta take him out. You gotta know, I still don't think Trump record on the empire is horrible, but the establishment requires full obedience. You know what I mean?